Doc, what made you decide to switch the matchups and get PJ on Nikola and Joel?
You know, we talked about it last night and the night before. And, you know, I watched the Miami game from a year ago, and I thought Tuck did a really good job on him. So we just felt like at halftime we wasn't up into him. He was catching it where he wanted to catch it. And he's such a focal point of their offense that if we can get Tuck can get up under him, make him catch it above the three-point line. Now those handoffs, you can go under. They don't matter anymore. Where in the first half he caught everything on the elbows and low. So I thought Tuck, you know, listen, Joel was phenomenal. He had 47 points. But we don't win the game if P.J. Tucker doesn't play. And the way he played in the second half was extraordinary.
And Tobias in particular made a bunch.
And Tobias is a good pickup, like, because we don't, you know, I was going to go with DeAnthony, and I went over to Tobias and said, can you guard Murray? We can get bigger, we can have more size, and I won't say what he said when I asked him the question, but it was filled with bad language, you know, like in a good way, and he did it. So that was good for us. I mean, that's what we mean by like Tobias being a star in whatever role we asked him to be in. Tuck today, you know, that's the type of win. That was a good win for us tonight.
You guys have shown a pretty good ability this year to come back from deficits, so you'd probably rather not have the deficits. But what did you see today in terms of what caused you guys to put things around?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I thought in the first half we were too busy trying to score. We thought it was going to be like an offensive game where we're just going to trade baskets with them. There was no physicality in that first half. We had 10 deflections in the first half. We had 20 deflections in the second half. And so to me, the second half, we played the way we have to play to be a good basketball team. In the first half, we wanted to trade punches. They were shooting 66% at one point. And I just thought physically we changed the game.
Doc, the PJ tip in at the end, is that one of those plays where you're just like, okay, that's what PJ Tucker just brings to this basketball?
Yeah, just he's experienced. They were trying to rotate off of him. He dives to the basket. He knows how to play basketball, you know, and that's why we went out and got him, because of nights like tonight, he can win a game for you, and he did that.
I feel like in the first half, there was a lot of back cuts because helpers were out of position. I guess how important when you're playing Jokic straight up like that, without sending doubles, how important is it to have your helpers be in the right spots?
You know, it would have been nice if we talked a little bit in the first half. It would have been nice if we made Joker catch it further out. And it would have been nice if when they back cut in your chest. We work on it every day. And tonight we got off the bodies a lot, and and I said it at halftime. I said, guys, if we're going to play off their bodies, and if they're not going to back cut right into our chest, then they're going to have a hell of a second half. I said, you know, it's up to us, and I thought we did that in the second half.
Was it more like a focus thing, or was it just?
You never know. Well, I know it was we didn't do a thing in the first half, and we did it in the second half.
Matisse was really terrific on the defensive end, just being able to allow you guys to kind of get stops. What did you just kind of see?
The same thing. I mean, him, DeAnthony, Tuck, Tobias tonight. Like, you need guys to defend. In a league where teams are scoring 126 and 119, you still got to get stops. And I thought we did that. It's funny. I thought all of our defensive players were amazing tonight.
I feel like we haven't really talked about Joel.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, so you guys have gotten better in terms of crunch time execution.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of that is just Joel hitting his prime years, and this is?
Yeah, it's probably his prime years, but he's in the right spot. You know, I swear I was going to strangle Tyrese twice because we were running the same action, and then he shortcutted it twice. And even James, the king of the shortcut on plays, was yelling at him like, you can't shortcut it because then they can switch. But, you know, leaving him where he had to end up at the elbow by himself. The only help was Tobias' guy in the corner. And the one time they came, Joel made that pass. That was huge because then they wouldn't come anymore. So just the little things, I think it'd be a good film session for us to watch to see those.
Feels like everything is so playoff focused, with the NBA.
Yeah.
I guess to have a matchup that kind of just felt that big with those two guys playing against each other, two good teams playing against each other. Was that something you kind of sensed from your team?
Yeah, I did. But I didn't think we, again, got into playing right until the second half. Back-to-back games that you can make a case for, the intensity in the Brooklyn game, the intensity tonight. I think all those games are good for us. We don't have the experience. Neither do they, a lot. They've been together, but they haven't had that deep, so in the bubble, but I think it's good for any team that really hasn't been through it.
You guys have one of the tougher schedules down the stretch.
Yeah, March is tough.
Yeah, you mentioned having these kinds of games Wednesday, today. Are you glad to have a stretch like that going into the playoffs to really feel like you are going to be tested?
Well, I won't. In March we have one every night, so I would rather not. It's funny though. The March schedule is tough more because of the travel and the back-to-backs than the opponent. The opponents are all tough. We don't care about that. That's going to be an interesting month for us on what we're going to do as far as playing guys, resting guys. That's a tough month.
Were you kind of expecting a performance like this from Joe, considering this week and not making the All-Star starting?
Yeah, I don't think that was the point. But since we are on the subject, I would like to say it one more time. We should vote for the top 24 players, period. No conference, nothing. Just vote for the top 24 players. Anyone disagree with that?
I mean, there's no conferences anymore with the teams.
That's the point. And they pick the teams anyway. So I don't know. Clearly, there's incentives with guys' contracts, so you'd have to work that out. Still, you can have two starting lineups. Top 10 players are the starters, which I think Joel would be in that. You know what I mean? So we can eliminate that problem. I'll stop there.
This every game now, you might want to just keep it the same.
Yeah, it could be a point. Let's keep offending Joel by fining him and not putting him on the all-star starters. Thanks, guys.
Game that helps you guys do that now at this point in the season?
Probably just Doc screaming at us every time. No, I think obviously we kind of just find something during those deficits that allow us to gain some momentum and some energy. Tonight, is the three-pointers by George, and the end of that third quarter, and then we were able to just figure some things out to get some stops, and Joel got the late 3 free throws as well. So, we at that moment we're just trying to find anything, and guys stepping up and making shots is huge for us to cut a deficit and just cut it to however many points for us to go out there in the fourth quarter and trying to make something happen. But, that whole game was us just fighting and really locking in defensively to get enough stops to win it.
Specifically Joel, but just what are the reviews got made of his game today?
No, it was great. I mean, he was dominant. I thought, once the second half came, he was really able to just settle down and be in the zone of the game and just understand, get us all going out there to get in the flow to make the game easier for him. And, for him to just continue to pick his spots. I thought he did a great job of that in the second half as well.
You've been around him for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And when something happens like not being the starter the other night to the All-Star team and having a matchup against a guy who's beat him out the last 2 years for MVP, how much does he take this stuff personally in a way?
I really don't ask him those type of questions. So you had to ask him that. I don't want to speak for him. Like I said, I don't want to speak for the man. But, I know that he takes winning more importantly than any of that. I could get up here and say I don't really think he cares about that. But as a competitor, deep down inside, obviously anybody that's going to push you a little bit. But he cares more about winning a championship than all those other type of honors. And I think everybody in the locker room can attest to that.
Doc mentioned a couple of defensive adjustments, PJ guarding Jokic and Embiid guarding Murray.
Mm-hmm.
How much did you feel kind of the defensive tide turn once you guys made those kind of adjustments?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was probably the biggest adjustment of the game that allowed us to find some real momentum to win. Tuck was amazing, just being able to put his versatility on a guy like Jokic, and it took them out of a lot of their movement type sets when you're able to switch, but also Tuck's a versatile defender, and he was able to be everywhere and show a different look at Jokic, and I thought that was the biggest adjustment that was made to allow us to win this afternoon's game. And that was huge for us.
For you individually, you mentioned Joel picking spots. He's an emotional player. I guess, like, as somebody who's kind of observed him for a long time, somebody who's, you see him make that pass to you at the end. Like, he has 44 points, he's cooking, but then he reads the game enough where he sees you're wide open. Mm-hmm. I guess, have you seen a progression in that over the years where he's able to kind of, control his emotions a little bit better?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anybody, everybody on the whole team, we all know it's about making the right play. And those type of passes, in the first quarter, second quarter, they're good and all, but that fourth quarter, making those looks and those type of passes, you trust your teammate to make a shot and you live with the result. But really, that's all of us. We know we have to make the good to great pass to be successful and to be a great team. And I thought Joe did a great job of that in tonight's game. And, our whole group, we fuel off of that. We fuel off of those extra passes because we know it allows every player to really get into their type of rhythm and their type of flow on the floor.
For you individually, a few more guys who were scoreless at halftime. Second half, you were able to get into a rhythm. Just what changed for you?
I just got some more looks. I was able to come out in the second half and, get the ball in different positions that allowed me to drive to the basket. And second half, just, in those 2 threes that I had, just getting my feet set and being ready to shoot and knock it down. It was just about kind of different opportunities.
Doc said you guys had a bit of a colorful exchange when he asked you about possibly guarding Jamal, whether you can do it. He said he used a lot of unsafe language. Just curious sort of what your approach was there. And just in general, in the fourth, you had the big steal on Jokic there late. See what you were able to really make a big impact.
Yeah, I mean, he asked me if I could guard somebody. I mean, I don't know if he thought I'd tell him no or something, but that's never a case, And I thought just for me that gave me a lot of energy on the floor, just going out and focusing on defense at that point, right? Like doing whatever I can to slow the other guy down. I know how good Murray is as a scorer and what he means to their offense, but it's collective and. I also saw when Jokic had the ball, he had his back turned, and I usually don't take those type of gambles, but I thought to myself that he's too far removed for this guy in the corner. I can go get this real quick. Just learning and I've been in those positions of guarding some top guys in the NBA. And that's something that I wasn't prepared to do early on in my career, but it's just growth in my development and game, and I look forward to more and more matchups like that.